The Atlantic has sued Google and its parent company, Alphabet, alleging that Google has monopolized the digital advertising ecosystem, controlling the ad server, the exchange, and the auction itself. In a 94-page federal complaint, The Atlantic says Google forced publishers to sell ads at lower prices while extracting monopoly profits, falsely claiming its tools would help publishers earn more. Well, publishers aren't earning more. Many of them earning less than ever. Yeah, that's if they haven't gone out of business already. Internal documents allegedly describe Google's auction manipulations as inherently unfair. The lawsuit leans heavily on prior federal ruling by Judge Liani Brinkema, who found that Google's conduct was exclusionary and harmed publishers. This Freudian slip there, I say protesters. We're seeing publishers becoming protesters because they see their livelihoods melting away. This is existential for journalism, or what we think of journalism. If Google controls how ads are sold, priced, and distributed, then publishers are just tenants in someone else's building, and they are paying rent to survive. So is this really going to change? Are they going to win a lawsuit in today's current regulatory environment? I don't think so, folks. Elections have consequences. And when you saw the inauguration last year, you did not see the publisher of Atlantic Magazine or the New Yorker, or for that matter, the New York Times, sitting behind Trump. No. You saw the CEOs of Google, the CEOs of Amazon, the CEOs of Facebook, the CEOs of Tesla sitting around Donald Trump. The big tech boys are the ones who got the money. Therefore, they got the power. Therefore, they can essentially buy and sell politicians, and I would argue judges. If you don't like that, you're going to have to change your vote. You're going to have to convince some of your friends and family to do the same thing. Because even if judges ultimately rule in favor of the Atlantic, and I'm not really that optimistic about it, and I'm not a lawyer, I think it's only a matter of time until appeals, Google's going to have a lot more money for attorneys than the Atlantic. And hey, I use Google every day. I use Gmail every day. I use a million Google products a day. I also go to the Atlantic, if not every day, probably 5 days a week. I am a big fan of the Atlantic, but at some point, it's easy to imagine the president picking up the phone and just telling a judge or tweeting to a judge, hey, you better stick it to Jeffrey Goldberg, that editor of The Atlantic, because I don't like him because he made me look bad in the past. That's happened many times. So I think The Atlantic's going to have a hard time. To be fair, it's not just Google that's done this. It's Craigslist. Now, everybody loves Craigslist. It's simple. It's clean. It's Craig Newmark, the owner. It has not become some horrible, obnoxious oligarch. He actually gives money to support local journalism. But what Craigslist did is it completely destroyed classified ads for newspapers. And that was the lifeblood of so many local newspapers in America that have all gone bankrupt. So classified ads not typically as big of an issue for a company like Atlantic. What's the answer? We do need some recognition that Google has a monopoly. Well, TJ, what about free enterprise systems? Shouldn't they be able to do what they want? The whole concept of free enterprise is you have to have competition. There's really very little competition for Google, arguably Facebook, but there's just not that much competition. They can charge what they want. You've got to deal with them. And what Atlantic is pointing out is it's so much harder for them to make money from advertising. They can't sell directly to advertisers nearly as easily anymore. And it is stifling. Now, the Atlantic has done a fantastic job of really being creative. They have events where they charge money and make money. They have newsletters. They have other products they put out, but most journalistic organizations can't do that. And if you say to yourself, well, is the world going to end if we don't have another Atlantic, or if the Atlantic goes away? I think the world would be a poorer place. But the bigger problem, frankly, are local newspapers, small towns, mid-sized towns, maybe your town, that simply can't survive because if, let's say, for example, they were making $1 million a year from ads in their newspaper, and now everything is migrated online, even if the very same local stores want to advertise with them, those stores are going through Google. And instead of making $1 million in ad revenue, maybe they're making $90,000 all of a sudden you got to fire your staff. You've got to shut down the printing press if you have one. You've got to shut down the office. And the bigger problem, frankly, is you have to fire reporters who do the actual reporting about what the city commission's doing, the county commission and the school board, and all the people who could make decisions in the best interest of your family, your community, your kids, but could also do whatever they want to line their pockets. Without local journalism, you'll never know. So I'm rooting for the Atlantic in this case. Let me be very upfront. But I'm not optimistic that with the current political framework we have, those in power, both judges and elected officials, that Google is going to lose its monopoly on advertising.